Hello and welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Anita Bulb, and show notes can be found in the description box below. Today is Tuesday the 21st of September, and I'm going to record this episode in two sections because I'm going away next weekend and I want to make sure that I get my video up on the last Tuesday of the month. So I think if I do a bit of it today and the rest next week, I should be able to do that. I hope you've had a nice few weeks since we spoke last. My September has been a little bit up and down. For those of you who already follow me, you may well have seen the little video I put up earlier in the month about our old English sheepdog Charlie, and unfortunately she passed away at the beginning of the month. And I want to thank everyone who left kind comments and sent me virtual hugs over that video. It's very kind, and really it's only been the last few days that I've been able to speak about her without crying, so there we are. It is what it is. But it hasn't been all doom and gloom. It's my daughter's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Jodie. And they came over on the weekend for a birthday buffet. That's right, buffet. In our house, if you ask for a birthday buffet, you get a grown-up birthday party. And if you ask for a birthday buffet, you get a retro 70s party with the obligatory cocktail sausage hedgehogs and your cheese and pineapple and your sandwiches cut into triangles. And also Jodie has a Colin the Caterpillar cake, or in this case it was Morris the Caterpillar from Morrison's. And she's had one of those every year since she was a little girl. A couple of years ago she did say, "I'm too grown up for that now, I don't want one." So Harry and I made her a butterfly cake, because caterpillars turn into butterflies, don't they? And it was covered in glitter, shall we say, but we still ate it. But this year, not with Charlie and everything, I think she deserved a bit of comfort, and it's always comforting going back, isn't it, to things that you remember from your childhood. And it wasn't even her childhood, because she's in her 30s now, so there we are. So we've done that, and next weekend I'm going to the Malvern Autumn Show with my friend Paula. Been there before a couple of times, and it's a really nice weekend. We're going on a coach trip and staying over, so that's exciting. I don't know, we're doing something else on one of the days, but I don't know what that is. So I'm just hoping that it'll still go ahead, because so many of them have been cancelled over the last year or two. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's what's going to throw me out a bit for the video, because then I have to go up to Jodie's to look after the boys on the Monday, and stay over Monday night, come back Tuesday, which is the day I would film. So and then I'm in work Wednesday, so I've got to sort of cram it all in. So that's why I thought I'd do a bit today. I am in a new area recording. This is my living room, because it's quite hot at the moment. So I have a big window out onto the front garden, and I'm hoping that any of my neighbours see me talking into my laptop, they might think I'm working, so it won't seem so mad. So anyway, let's just get on with, I haven't done a huge amount this month, obviously. The beginning of the month didn't really feel like doing much, but I did resurrect an old project, and it takes a bit of concentration, which I thought I wouldn't be any good at. I thought I would need, after Charlie, I thought I'd need something that was just where you didn't have to think, but actually having to concentrate on the pattern made me not think, which was more soothing, if that makes any sense. But I want to show you an acquisition first. I have bought myself a knitting journal. Now I thought this was going to be A5 size, and it turns out A4. It's only it was off it's from Amazon, and I think it was under £5. I'll try and link it if I can. but it's quite useful. So there's a lot of detail there, and what I tend to do when I do these videos and I've finished a project, I don't give you enough information about them because I tend to forget. Once I've knitted it and finished it, if there were any problems or things I liked or disliked, I can't really remember. So if I put them all in the notes here, it should help. Which runs us smoothly into my first finished object. It's one of my Christmas in July projects. So it's in a Christmas bag, a project bag, which would make sense. And I am knitting the adorable kids fingerless gloves. I'm doing a pair each for my grandsons. I'm using the yarn that I bought from Shaw's, the Marriner's yarn, which is the Marriner Cosy Toes. And this colourway is Parrot, and I have got the ball band here. This is what the ball band looks like. So it's Marriner Cosy Toes, and I've not used it before. And it's self-striping, but they're not equal stripes, so I did have a bit of difficulty. Well, I've had a bit of difficulty all round with this yarn, really. It's nice and soft, and it is, see, this is where I don't give you enough detail, 75% merino wool and 25% nylon, and it is very nice. But after everything that happened earlier on in the month, I thought I would make Jodie a pair of Rose City Roller shorty socks, and I thought I'd make it in this because I'd still have plenty enough left to do the fingerless mitts for the boys. So for some reason I used 2.5mm DPNs where I usually use 2.25, so that's my mistake to begin with. That's my own fault. So I did the cuff down, so I did down past the heel, running down into the foot, and I put it on her little cardboard sock shape, her foot shape that I've got, so I can knit socks for people when they're not here if I've got their cardboard cutouts. And it was way too loose, so obviously the 2.5 was too big, so I ripped all that back and did them again in 2.25, and I got to about the same place, and there was a sort of blip in the yarn. It was like there'd been a break and they'd sort of spliced it together, but they couldn't have done that because there's nylon in it. But it was sort of like that. It was much thicker in this one spot. I didn't want to cut it out because I thought I would mess the stripes up. So I knitted with it, and so there was this little lump in the middle, and I knitted quite a way past that, and I think there had been a break that they put together, because then there was just this one sort of random red stripe, so it wasn't continuous, if you know what I mean. There was definitely an error there. So when I did the next one, I knew it wasn't going to match up, and I like them to match if I can. Plus there was a lump, and those stitches look quite open, and it was on the top of the foot, and I thought that's going to annoy Jodie in her shoe. So I ripped it back again, and then I just thought, you know, I don't think my head is in the right place to do them again. So I thought I would just knit what I was supposed to knit with this yarn in the first place, which were the fingerless gloves. So I started on jacks, because these are going to be jacks, and he's going to be 3, so it's the smaller size, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry. You have to cast on 46 stitches on either size, but when you're doing the smaller size, which is for a 3 to 5 year old, you use 2.25mm needles, and if you're doing the older size for 6 to 8 year olds, you use 2.75. So the size needle is what makes the gloves bigger. So I knit the first glove, and it came out like this, and they are really cute. It's a lovely pattern, nice and easy to follow, and you so you knit the cuff, and then you leave some stitches on waste yarn for the thumb and knit up to the rib, and then go back and do the little thumb. So I did the first one like this. I made a point of noticing of I made a point of recording what part of the yarn I started with, so I could do the next one the same. And then the next one, oh, I've just realised it isn't quite a finished object now. The next one knitted up like this, which was really annoying, because if that was socks, I could probably cope with it, but mittens, I couldn't. And I also had to match up the grey. I wanted at least to try to match it, so that doesn't naturally go into the grey. I had to cut the yarn and put some grey on to at least try and match it, and then I just thought that would really annoy me. That is just not good enough. So then I made another one, and these now are more matching. But then I had to do the same thing with the grey at the top and cut the yarn, and I've just noticed I haven't finished the thumb. So I've got only works in progress today. Oh no, I haven't, because I've finished one of my face cloths. But, oh, this isn't going well. I thought it'd be easier if I recorded one today. So anyway, they are more matchy, so I'm happier with those. And then in hindsight, I looked on the website, and they do show all the socks in these different colourways. They're sock yarn. I'll put a picture on, and you can see that there are thicker and thinner stripes to the yarn. So it was my fault really, but thick and thin stripes is a tiny bit annoying, because you do waste a lot of yarn, because I've got all these different balls and ends trying to match up the yarn. But it is really nice to use, and I think I would like to have a go at making a sock tube with this yarn, because then you could work out exactly where the stripes are and where to put the heel and the toes. So I might try that next time. So when I finish that would be Jack's gloves done, and then I've got to do Harry's, and I was going to knit the elf on the shelf jumpers with this yarn, but I realised after saying I was going to do that, the pattern calls for DK weight. So I've got some glittery Christmassy yarn that I might make the two jumpers in, and although they'll be the same, I might embroider or duplicate stitch their names across the front, or maybe just their initial, so that I can send them off to Father Christmas for the elves on the shelves. So I've got to get on with those. And the other Christmas in July project I have been working on are the face cloths. So I finished one. The first one I did was the icicles. Was it icicles? It wasn't icicles. The first one I've done is the bloom where you're planted. Now these are patterns from the kitchen sink shop, and this one's bloom where you're planted, and I used this yarn here, cotton. They're all cotton yarns. I got it in a local indoor market. Camilla cotton, ice, and then the price is stuck over that. Made in Turkey, 100% mercerized cotton. So I finished that one. I was going to block these all nicely to show you, but I can do that for next time. Just trying to see which way around you... Right, okay. And so there's that one. I don't know if you can see the pattern particularly well. Maybe when I block it, it'll be a bit better. So that's that one. And then I am now working on the Ripples dishcloth, although mine's going to be a face cloth. There. And I'm doing this one in navy blue, and I have got that far. You can't, oh my gosh, that's awful, isn't it? Because it's navy. I'll put a picture in, because it's quite a nice pattern. I have gone wrong at the beginning, but as it's so dark you can't really see, but it won't matter because the lady it's going to be for won't know. And this yarn is Cotton Kings, A World of Majestic Yarns, and it is made in India, 100% cotton. And there's the ball band. But what I liked about this yarn, Helen from Mousy Makes, she was saying about, she was showing setting up a project and pulling the yarn from the middle and how messy it can be. But this one I really like because it came with a tag and that came out of the middle, so that seems to be working well. And another thing with the yarn, the Marriner's yarn, was the ball. I used the yarn from the outside, and the ball kept falling apart and I kept getting knots, and it was taking me ages to untangle them, hence why it was in a big ball, because I had to roll it up or wind it up. So there are the two dishcloths. So my Christmas in July project's well underway. I haven't done any more on the fairy, Christmas fairy, although my sister-in-law now wants me to make something else from the book for a friend of hers, because they all get together a week or two before Christmas, and she said she wants to give her that as a gift because she knows no one else will have got or anything like that. So this is the project that I started back on, that was in the naughty corner. It was a languishing whip. You might remember it. See if I can get the proper. It was a cardigan I was knitting out of a very old magazine. This, the Cranberry Crush, but it's actually called the lace cardigan, I think, on Ravelry. It's from Louisa Harding, and you were supposed to use her yarn, but it's so old, this pattern. It's from, I think it's from 2006 or 2007, that the yarn was discontinued. So I ordered some Angora yarn from Etsy, and it says the colourway is amber. I haven't got any ball band or anything with it because it came from the Ukraine, and I ordered it on Etsy. Oh, excuse the nails, I can see all my nail varnish coming off. It's lovely and soft, and it was really good value. Even with the postage, it was good value. But I was a little bit, when I look on Etsy, I always put UK. I'd rather buy from UK sellers to support local businesses. But because I did the search, I put that in, and then I amended something on the search, which automatically defaults the search back to anywhere in the world. So when I put this in my basket and paid for it, then I realised it was coming from the Ukraine. And not that I got a problem with that, because the postage wasn't extortionate or anything, but I was just a little bit concerned as to, because it's Angora, whether it would be, what do you call that word? Ethically, is it being ethical, but being kind to the rabbits that the yarn was coming from. I don't think my head's really in the right place to do this video, but I shall persevere. Anyway, I didn't want the animals there. I didn't want any cruelty to be, I didn't want the rabbits to have been cruelly treated in order for me to get this yarn. But when it arrived, or when I'd ordered it, it was too late, and I just, oh well, I try my best. So anyway, if you remember this cardigan, I'd done the back and the two fronts, and then I'd also done this giant sleeve. And because you had to knit the sleeve from, there's a pen stuck in it, you had to knit the sleeve from the cuff and then do the, this is not the sleeve. Let me just find it first, it'd be easier, wouldn't it? That's the front. Is that front or is that sleeve? It's front. Oh, that's the sleeve. because you had to knit the sleeve from the cuff at the bottom, I think I've lost it again. And then do all the increases and do the shaping for the top, or for the shoulder at the top. I didn't really realise how long it was going to be, because I didn't know how long this part would be. And it became hugely long, and way too long for me. So I've adjusted the pattern. After you do for the increases, I think it was every 12 rows or every 14 rows, and I've done every 10. And then there was some, you had to do a couple, I think about 15 rows just straight, and I'm not going to do those either. I don't want to say too much because it is a paid for pattern, but I've decided to do the sleeves 2 at a time this time, so that they'll both be the same, although it's a bit slow going. So I've done that much on the 2. So I'm still just doing the increasing every 10 rows. And then when I've done that, I'm going to go straight into the decreases for the, well, it's not a raglan, but the decreases for here. And hopefully that will fit and I'll have a finished object. So this was the one I was working on that I had to concentrate on, because this is my chart, quite complicated. And then of course you're increasing and decreasing, so you've got to actually add those into the pattern as well. So hopefully that'll be ready for the winter. Do a little bit of that in the mornings if I can, because I have more brain capacity in the mornings, because I am a morning person. And today I'm going to just work a little bit more on my cross stitch, my monthly cross stitch. I've done that so far. Hopefully by the time this video goes up it will be completely finished, because I usually put them on the front of the video. So if you see it before you listen to me, you'll know I finished it. So I'm going to work a bit on that today, and I'll try and finish the face cloth, but I don't know how much time I'm going to have now, because Tuesday today, we work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we go to Malvern, and I'm not really home again until Tuesday, and when I want to finish this video. So it's all go. So I shall sign off here and see you in a week to wrap things up. Hope I wasn't too waffly. Well, I'm back. It's a week later for me and a couple of seconds for you. So now we're on the last Tuesday in September, and I've just come back from a wonderful weekend. We went to a Malvern show, my friend and I. We did a coach trip for a weekend, so we went to Worcester for the first day, stayed in a hotel there, and went to Malvern show on the Sunday. It was so nice. We had to wear masks on the coach because in Wales we still wear masks. And then when we were in England, we didn't have to wear them if we didn't want to, and then we wore masks on the way back. But when we were in Worcester, in some of the smaller shops, we put masks on. I think it's just polite, and just considering the people who work in the shops. It was a lovely weekend. And we didn't know where we were going on the one day. And had I realised we were going to Worcester, I would have got in touch with Anne from Knits and arranged to maybe meet up with her, but we didn't know until the day that we were there. It's a lovely, lovely town, and we went to the cathedral and we looked around there, and there's lots of little independent shops, really nice, worth a visit if you fancy a day out. And Malvern show was just wonderful, and we were so lucky with the weather because it's pouring with rain now and horrible, but on the Sunday and the Saturday of the show, I think it was Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but marvellous weather, so great fun all round. So anyway, I filmed, as I said earlier, I filmed some of the podcasts in advance because I've just got back from looking after my grandsons, and I knew I wouldn't have much time today. So I'm just going to quickly update you on some of the projects I showed you last time. And I have cast on a few new things, and I have some acquisitions. And as I arrived home today, there was a parcel waiting for me from my sister-in-law in America, and I've just opened the top because she wrapped it very well, covered it in sellotape. So I've just opened that bit and had a little peep inside, but I thought I would open the rest and show you, so we'll have a surprise together. Right, so I've got all my projects over here and my acquisitions over there. So we will start, let's see, what was this one? Oh, these are Jack's little mittens, and I needed to sew, oh, look, I have now done the thumb, but I still haven't sewn the ends in. It's been quite busy this last week, so I haven't really had a chance. And I do want to apologise to the Marriner yarns, because I have since realised there are lots of yarns out there, sock yarns, that have thicker and thinner stripes. It's just, I think that these were so small that it was so noticeable. But when we went to Malvern Show, my friend wants to learn to knit socks, and she took a sock project, and the yarn that she had was doing thick and thin stripes. So I realised actually it was me complaining about nothing, my lack of knowledge. But there we are, I've done them now, nearly, just got to sew the ends in. So that's out of my Christmas in July projects. And then I did finish the face cloth that I was working on, but yet again, you're not going to be able to see that. And again, recurring theme, got to sew the ends in for that one. So I've just got one more face cloth to do. And then I cast on a new project out of my Christmas in July, but these are the ones for Father Christmas, so the elf on the shelf jumpers. And remember I was telling you I had very glittery yarn? This is it. Obviously it was acrylic, it's lovely and soft, so the elves are going to be very cozy in this. And I do have a ball band for it. Here it is, King Cole Glitz, and it's shade 1698, and it's called Christmas. So there we are. And I have done a little back so far, just to get all the ends over this side. A little back, and I'm working on the front, which is pretty much the same. Isn't it nice? It knits up nicely. I might make them a little pair, not the elves, the grandsons, a little pair of socks each with this yarn. It's DK, but I'll see if I can find a DK sock pattern for children. Oops. And this is the front, and I've sort of stopped there because I need to slip these onto some waste yarn and do the other side, so I just sort of stopped there. Ooh. Pick everything up. Sorry if I'm jogging the camera. You're on a stool, and then you're on a little plant pot holder thing, so that try and get rid of my double chins, because I was looking a bit jowly in the first half. So that's that. And I've also cast on a new project, and this was to help my friend Paula, because as I say, she's learning to knit socks, and she took a sock project with her, and she wanted help with turning the heel and picking up the stitches. So do you remember earlier I was saying I was going to make the Rose City Roller socks for Jodie, and I kept ripping them back? Well, I've decided to make her a pair in this yarn, and I made myself a pair of socks in this yarn a while back, and when I showed it on the podcast, Jodie was hoping they were for her because she really liked the colours. I can't remember what the yarn is, but I'll write it underneath and obviously put it in the show notes. And as they're any shorties, I could get to the heel flap and turn quite quickly to show my friend, but as it was, I just showed her on the socks that she was making. She's doing a very good job, so well done, Paula. So here we are, I've just done that, the turn, and I'm doing the decreases now to get back to the right stitch count, and then I can just go down the foot. That's the first one, and then I can get to work on the 2nd. And whenever I'm making a project for Jodie, I always put it in this beautiful bag from Eva, Coco and Flora, and it's her, well, I'm not sure if she calls it her Mad Hair collection, but that's what I call it because it reminds me of my daughter's hair. She doesn't mind me saying that. She's got mad red-haired, beautiful. So that's just some new little cast-ons, and then I'm joining in with Anne from Spa Knits. She's doing a jumper along, and it's running from the beginning of September all the way through until March or April, I think. I'll put the right dates underneath. And I bought some yarn from Hobbii. I've never used those. I've never got anything from them before. They're based in Denmark. And this is the Diablo, and it's 30% mohair, 30% nylon, and 40% acrylic. And it's just in black, and it came really quickly. And the postage, considering it was from Denmark, was very reasonable. It was only a couple of pounds. And I have bought 10 balls, and they sent me a free darning needle. So that was nice, and a little sweet, but I gave that to Martin, and he's eaten that already. So that's the yarn, and I plan to make the Petite knit Anker sweater. And I just thought that was going to be a nice staple item for the winter. And I don't know if you can see that there's a little bit of patterning, and then it's just plain. I thought that would be really nice in black. How well I'll do now with the darker nights knitting in black, and you've got to hold it 2 strands together. How well I'll do, I don't know. Might have to just be for the weekends and my days off in the mornings when there's a bit of natural light, but I'm going to cast that on. I should probably do a gauge swatch. I suppose I better had. I'll do that first, and then I can cast on and join in with Anne's knit along. And I was watching Julie from So Unique, her lovely podcast, and she does one at the end of the month with her daughter, and she shows off the products they've got in their shop, because they've got a bricks and mortar shop and an online shop, a website and an Etsy shop. And she was showing some Peter Rabbit fabrics. My youngest grandson loves Peter Rabbit. Well, he loves Mr. McGregor the most, but he also likes Peter Rabbit and Cottontail. Whenever I read the story, we've got the book for him, but it's a sort of very young child's version of the story. And he always remembers Cottontail, Peter Rabbit, Mr. McGregor, and he doesn't remember Mopsy or Flopsy. But Julie had this lovely fabric in her shop, and it's called Mother's Hug, I think. And I did a cross stitch in that design, and it was meant to be a bundle of fat quarters, but I asked her if I could just have the fabric all one piece all in this, because I just think it's beautiful. It's Christmassy, but not the traditional colours that you would think of. And I'm going to make a nice cushion, nice squidgy cushion out of that for Jack. And then she has, of course, you're looking on the website, and I see some other fabrics, and she also had some Toy Story fabric. Now Jack also loves Toy Story, so I've got him some of that, just a fat quarter. And I got Harry some moons and planets in a fat quarter, and then I bought 2 fat quarters, so I think it's 1/2 meter of this stars, and it's slightly glittery. I don't know if you will catch the glitter. And I'm just going to make them a bucket bag, or it was just a sort of fabric storage bucket, and I used the tutorial from Jean Truelove. She's an American lady, got a podcast and lots of tutorials, and she shows you how to do your own template in different sizes for these bucket bags. So I've made several, And I've also altered them slightly, some of them, and put a channel in the top to do draw cord project bags. So I've done some of those. I really like doing that pattern, and I just like the way when you turn it, you have to turn it the right way and it all comes together, and they're really nice. So I just thought I'd make a squidgy little project bag bucket for each of those, and they can put some of their little bits and pieces in there. And then lastly, my box from Janine. Here it is, and she wraps it really well. We call it Wrap Like Grandma because my grandma used to cover your presents in sellotape when she sent them to you. They're very difficult to open. So here we are. Here's the inside of the box. Be careful because my address is on the outside. Look at that, jam-packed. Now I think we've mostly, well I don't know, I'm not going to guess. We've got some DMC variegated embroidery flosses, 36 skeins. Thank you, Janine. She used to be really into cross stitch, and I've not had any I just realised what it is, variegated. I've never had threads like that. Look at that, they all change colour. Well, that would be really interesting to show with. Gonna have to get some more projects on the go. I did finish my September cross stitch. You'll have seen at the beginning, at the beginning of the video, in a nick of time. Obviously use my own colours, so it's not quite to the pattern. And I've got lots here, more to go in my tin. I've got a big tin full of embroidery threads or silks from my sister-in-law. A teeny pink one, and some Ada fabric. Is that Ada? Made in the USA. Oh, 28 even weave. Cross stitch fabric, 100% combed cotton. That is so tiny. Will my eyes allow me to do that? Oh my goodness, you can't see what's in the bottom. She has, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's get that out first. Oh, I'm going to be a truly professional cross stitcher now. I have got a box with all the threads in. Now I watched Tina from Simply in Stitches, and I know she's got several of these. I've never had, oh look, and they're all wound up. Oh, thank you so much, Janine. And they're all numbered. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's fab. It's amazing. Oh no, she sent me another one. And I have, if anyone is looking for a thread, a certain colourway, and you can't find it, get in touch with me and ask me, because I have more threads, and not only that, another box. Oops, I dropped the box. Another box. Wow. I'm going to have to think where I can put all those now, and also what projects I can make with it. Well, I've zoomed through that because I want to get this edited and uploaded. So, oh, that's amazing. I'm so excited now. I've got a new jumper to cast on, which means my lace cardigan with the sleeves I'm working on is going to take a bit of a back seat so I can knit this jumper and join along with Anne. And I've got all those threads. I'm not going to be able to really do anything with those until next year, because I want to finish my tablecloth I'm working on. But I've got October, November, December of that, and I'm using my own threads to when I do the pattern, so I might even have all the correct colours. Who knows, that'll be exciting. So anyway, I hope you're all keeping well, and sorry, I'm looking out. There's all people, vans and things coming down the road, and I'm sat in my living room talking to the camera. How embarrassing. Anyway, I hope you're all keeping well. Stay safe, enjoy your crafting, and hopefully I shall see you at the end of October. Bye for now.
Monkey took the monkey for a ride in the air. The monkey thought that everything was on a square. The cause tried to Ain't no use in diving. What's the use of diving?